Guys. Oh, sorry, a little under the weather, but Star Wars is back, ladies and gents. We start off with us having a recap of Obi-Wan's story, seeing him go from the man who was the student of Qui-Gon to trying to be the Jedi Qui-Gon saw him to be, while also doing his best by keeping his word and taking care of Anakin, just for these two to then fight and have Obi-Wan cut his own student in half. We skip to around 10 years later with Obi-Wan trying to watch over Luke while being completely broken spiritually. This show establishes from the start two things: the Inquisitors are around eliminating the last remains of the Jedi, all the while Obi-Wan, the last of what was the golden age of Jedi you could say, has dropped the ways of the Jedi. Everything he believed in is just gone now, and the one thing he wants to do is just look out for Luke, but now he can't even do that since Owen finds him to be dangerous, which is partially true. Even though Obi-Wan considered himself to be a failure of the Jedi, the Inquisitors are still after him. Speaking of, the Inquisitors themselves are also pretty solid and are actually entertaining due to them having the third sister causing inner conflict. The Grand Inquisitor is mainly following the orders, taking out the remains of the Jedi. Meanwhile, the third sister is specifically after Kenobi himself. This shows us that the third sister is clearly a loose cannon, sorta like Savage, while the Grand Inquisitor would be like Dooku. And a lot of people are super upset about this, but honestly, we've seen characters in Star Wars come back from literally being chopped in half. There is no retcon guaranteed that the Grand Inquisitor comes back. Another thing I'd like to know about this show is Kid Leia and the relationship she has with Obi-Wan. We already knew these two have interacted before in canon, but we actually see this relationship being fleshed out and Leia reminding Obi-Wan of Padme, while having that fiery spirit of her father as well. Leia is also an easy way for the conflict to be set up between the Inquisitors and Obi-Wan, as now it's a game of chase. And it's crazy too, since Leia only enhances the conflict Obi-Wan is going through, since the only reason she's being chased is so that the Inquisitors can get to him. And to me, Leia is the perfect reason for Obi-Wan to come back to the light, as he's mainly focused on protecting Anakin's children. So the only person who would stop him from watching over his son would only have to be his daughter. And even when it came to saving Leia, it took some convincing because Obi-Wan again thought he failed the way of the Jedi. And Ewan McGregor does a perfect job just executing the fact that Obi-Wan at this point is just completely damaged inside. We even see a Jedi trying to bring the light back into Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan just says to forget about it and to just hide. He's simply given up. But now he's given a chance to redeem himself, and man, this show makes me so happy, bro. Like, we don't get blind, dumb action. The most Force action we've seen from Obi-Wan is using the Force to save Leia from falling, showing that even when in the biggest time of crisis, Obi-Wan, despite seeing himself as a failure, knows that he could save her, and so he instinctively does, because at the end of the day, that is what the Jedi do. And of course, how can I forget the perfect ending of Episode 2, setting up the return of Darth Vader? Or, I guess I should say, the introduction of Darth Vader, because he's just got done healing right now. This show right now is setting up probably one of the best uncovered stories in Star Wars, and arguably one of the most important points, as this is one of Anakin and Obi-Wan's battles. I have nothing but high praise for this show, and I hope they don't fumble the bag on this one.